Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of AMC Entertainment, ticker symbol AMC. And so I am recording this on the evening of Friday, September 27th, after AMC closed at a price of $4.50, being red on the day, being down a little under 1% on the day. And yeah, I just wanted to follow up on the chart. It looks like, there's been a little bit of hope over the past week, but really, I think that we are, going to be battling with this trend line that last week I had talked about that potentially acting as support as on the 20th. So last Friday, we tested that level, closed higher, closing at a price last Friday at 476. But then, it looks like we started this week out on Monday, testing that level again, wicking below it, but closing just at it. But then on Tuesday, came down, only 3% on the day. So, not a massive percentage-wise move, but definitely got a drop below that trend line, having hit a low on Wednesday of $4.36. So hopefully that's the bottom. Hopefully 436 is it. But following that, we got this nice reversal going up, closing higher than the high from Wednesday, closing at a price of 454 on Thursday. So, just yesterday on the 26th. So looking pretty good. But then, just closing 4 cents lower today. But the thing that really stands out to me about today's price action is that we got a wick up to a high of $4.66, effectively testing that uptrend. But today, on Friday, September 27th, we were testing that uptrend now as resistance, and it looks like we got rejected from it, formed this inverse hammer candle. Big wick to the upside suggests that, there's a lot of weakness and that we may not be able to get above this uptrend. But at the same time, sometimes, when I'm doing this analysis, sometimes I'm completely wrong. And, we may very well be seeing a break above that level. But, my argument, I'll go over a couple things for why I think we might be seeing the further move to the downside. One is that, we see this bounce in the RSI hitting a low on, let's see, that was Wednesday with the RSI of 31.33. So just almost getting to 30, which in the RSI lingo, getting below 30, that is oversold. We are not yet oversold. We did get a little bounce, but it seems like it was a pretty weak bounce. And we can see that in the price action up here, as we did get rejected. So I think that the RSI could be dipping below 30. And maybe at that point, that would be a nice time to start, identifying that the bottom is in. We can also see that in the MACD, it is still negative, it is still red. So, we were not able to flip this positive. So I think that this could be rolling over more and we get kind of like a double dip in the red. And, as we have seen over here, a lot of prolonged time in the red as far as that MACD goes. Just saw a little bit of green over here. And so I think that what we would need to see before we could see another really big rally, or at least a break back above this uptrend out of this wedge, is that we need to see the RSI dip below 30, so it's oversold, and then we boost that up and launch that out of here. So that is kind of what I see happening here. As far as the volume goes, I'm not the best at the volume analysis. But, with the push up that we saw today, we didn't see enough volume pushing the stock price above that uptrend. So, it does seem like, we got a rejection there, though it is Friday. And, with the, I believe it's the producer price index. I'm not sure exactly. But with the economic data that we saw today, there was probably some reluctance initially before the big move up. And then we saw a sell off. So, that doesn't look so great, but then some levels that we have respected. Let's see, on the down day when we closed on the 25th at a price of $4.38, that was, while it was below the 786 here, if I do take a big step back, the 786 from this big run up, that was at $4.41. So while we did close below that, the white line here, we did not hit this prior low from June 25th at 433. So I think that, it is good that we held that level, but, we couldn't get above the 786 from here at, 459, or the 786 from here at 464. Maybe those levels are important, maybe they're not. Something that does stand out to me, actually, if I do fade this one out so it's not cluttering the chart, we can see this 786, we did bounce from it here as well as over here. So that does make me think that level at about 464 probably corresponds with a lot of resistance, as it has been support in the past. Even when we broke below it here, we opened below it, we did close above. So really, I do think there is a lot of prior support at 464. Now that is resistance. We got rejected there. And so I think it's going to be pretty important that we hold 433. If we don't, though, the next line in the sand is going to be 410, which was the low on May 31st. But, in all honesty, like I talked about with the RSI getting below 30, I think that price might be coming down to, 410. And if we do break below that, I do think that, this gap down here has not yet been filled at 291. Personally, I don't think that we are going to be filling that gap, but I think that we could be getting close to filling it. Maybe fake some people out who are waiting for a gap fill at 291. They get left behind if we do dip to around there. And I could see the low that we hit, let's see, being the right around the open price here from this day at 350. And so for me personally, that is the level I am keeping an eye on, because, while this was a nice dip, I think that we could be seeing another dip because we did get rejected here. A lot of stuff doesn't suggest that a reversal is here just yet. And if we do look at the past, we can see that, we did dip below 30 in the RSI here, coming down to 18 before we saw this little rally over here. Not that major, but for this rally, from the low here, we saw an RSI coming down to around 19. And so I think that we need to see that the RSI dropping below 30. And that could suggest, if we just take a measurement, for this time frame, we have to measure it up here. But for when we did dip below and then come back above the oversold values in the RSI, that took about 15 days. So maybe look for the RSI being below 30 for a couple of weeks, and then maybe that would signify that we have found a bottom and that we might be looking for a breakout above these levels. And one thing I want to end on that, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, corresponding to the close at $4.50, if I do flip over to unusual whales here to look at the max pain, it does look like we closed exactly at max pain for the day. So, call it what you will. It's definitely, always a little fishy when that happens. But, the max pain has dropped from $5 to $4.50. And with that being said, we could continue to show weakness, closing below max pains in the future. The upcoming weeks, it is $4.50 as well. And so I could see us dipping below that. And then, once we have gotten into that oversold territory, I think that we could really ramp it up and start to break out to the upside. So for me, like I said, I am being patient. I still have belief. I still have hope. And one thing that I have seen, this past week on social media on X is a lot of infighting with retail, other stocks rallying like Unity Software. Maybe some of you participated in it. Maybe some of you did not. I think that we need to be celebrating each other's wins. It doesn't matter if you're an AMC, GameStop, Chewy, Unity, whatever it is, whatever stock you're interested in. If you're holding Robinhood and you're going long that company, that's fine with me. I think that's great. I want retail to succeed, and we should all be in each other's corners. It doesn't matter what the stock is. Retail needs to be here for each other. That is why I try to do these videos every single week, try to get them out on Fridays, is because I have belief, not just in the stock, but in the community. I have belief in retail. And so support each other. Don't fight with others because other people made money, whereas AMC went down over the past week. That's not what this is about. This is about us coming together, treating each other with respect, and winning together. So, I feel like I need to close on that. Please be respectful of other people, of how other people choose to trade. We all handle emotions, stress, risk differently. And we need to respect that. We need to respect how we like to play the market. And hopefully, I do feel like AMC will be winning. And that is why, I believe in retail. I believe in AMC. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks a lot, you guys. Take care.